on a level 4 Fox and just like kind of combo him for like an hour and a half, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's like what I've done forever, and I don't really have any like I don't have any routine or anything to practice, or like I'm not like specifically like aiming for like shit to get like what to actually improve on and stuff like that. So I remember I think like in your Medify thing, it said something about like setting up sort of like like a routine or whatever, like try to get better at certain
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Yeah, that's one of the ones I do.
Yeah, yeah. So that if we could do something like that, that would be cool. Or if you want to look at a VOD, I have a bunch of them, but the one I sent is like one where I felt like I was playing pretty good, and
Okay.
but like also there's like things to improve on and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so what I usually do with the training routine one is I usually watch through a VOD anyway for a bit to sort of get an idea of what, needs work in terms of like tech and whatever. So
right,
we can do
right.
that and then it's sort of a bit of both, right?
Hmm. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you
Before we start, can I ask you,
yeah.
like this? It doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. But like, do you have like some sort of like special controller at all, or do you just use like one that's like stock?
I have a Game Wave.
Okay, yeah, because like I've been using the same controller since like 2012, I think, and it's like the like the bottom the grooves like
Yeah, yeah, the
it's
notches.
just a circle now.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even notice, and I was like well, this thing feels old, and like the R button, like I miss so many texts, and I'm like I kind of feel like this R button's like not really
Yeah, you should probably
functioning
invest
anymore.
in a new controller then.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering. Yeah, Goon waves are pretty expensive. I think, right? They're like a couple $100
Yeah,
maybe.
Game Wave's fob. So I mean, even a good OEM is like because you have to get a modded OEM for it to be like have nothing wrong with it, and even those are
Right.
like $100+ So
Okay. That's like not
it's up to
horrible,
you.
but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Let me share my screen.
Okay, I got it up here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
this is. Yeah, I played with this guy for like about an hour, and actually you played him at Gommel like quite a long, maybe a year or two ago, I think too.
What's his tag?
Hippo, Hippo.
I know I went
Yeah.
to Gommel. Well, I guess last year now. Like 2022
Yeah.
is the only one I went to.
Okay, it must have been last year then. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll recognize once I see how they play. But,
He probably played Fox against you because that's like what his main.
uh,
But he is a pretty good Marth, so I asked
oh
him to
wait,
play
no, I
him.
think yeah, this guy went 3-2 with me. I think if it's the same
Yeah,
guy.
he did. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, okay, I remember that. Yeah, this guy's pretty good.
yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so usually when I look through these for like the training routine ones, I'm just looking for like any instances where it's like you sort of like messed up tech skill and that caused you to either like lose neutral or like drop a punish or something like that,
Hmm.
or anywhere where you like either looked slow or uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Um,
Sure.
and then we'll just write those down, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about like how to implement them in game or in practice. Sorry. If it's like a one-off, then I don't really care too much. Like you've got the odd misstyle cancel or whatever, but
Yeah, that might also be my buttons too, but
yeah,
it's hard to say.
that's fair.
It's hard to say sometimes. Yeah, a lot of that was me trying to get slide off because I just learned how to do it.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
I was like missing text trying to get slide off. But yeah.
yeah. I think one thing so far has been like anytime you've had a dare at a weird height, so like this one,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's one first stock you've like missed the L cancel on. Daring from different heights. Meant to be a shield drop, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think that. So I think it's because I have a circle on the bottom of my controller. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna make it
shield
hard.
up.
Yeah, it's gonna make it hard.
Yeah, so yeah, I gotta work. I actually got a new shell, so I'm gonna put that on there at least.
Yeah. Dropped wave shine, I'm guessing. Or did he mean to full hop out of this one?
No, that happens a lot actually to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
The
that
jumping
usually
out.
happens if you do your air dodge too early. And then you do the air dodge
Right,
input
you just
during
end up
your jump
jumping?
squat. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Instead of wave.
Yeah, that actually happens quite a bit to me. I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That might be something to work on for sure. Yeah.
Same with this downer as well.
Oh yeah. Okay. I
And
see
that
that.
back air. That down there.
1, 2. I probably didn't mean to be on the platform. Though.
Yeah, I think the shield drop thing you might just need a better controller if I'm honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's no notches, it makes it kind of hard. Nice. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't say there was too many. I'd say those were the main two things. Were
Yeah,
L
that-
cancels on the dares.
Yeah, I said that one just because in case of the Marth
Yeah.
matchup kind of thing. But yeah, that game I feel like I played like overall pretty okay. I think, but
Yeah, so let's use those two things, and then let's look for some like matchup specific stuff, and then sort of combine that into a bit of a like mini routine for you.
yeah, sure.
So let's
Yeah.
watch through it now, and I'm just gonna look more at like the overall like matchup rather than just like tech skill errors.
Yeah, so I like Marth is like after we talked about Sheik a bunch
Yeah.
and we talked about Fox like a little bit the first time.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't played none of my buddies played Sheik unfortunately, so I haven't got to play a bunch of Sheik, but definitely with Fox like just a little bit more patient and like kind of like earning hits and like not going in that like the horizontal, like off the platform and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like trying to play under or over a lot more. And I find it's like it actually is paying off quite a bit. If I'm like
Nice.
thinking like really hard while I'm playing, then it does like really
Yeah,
pay
that's
off.
good.
Yeah.
Let me just watch it a little bit more. Just get some good ideas.
Yeah, sure. It happens to me all the time. Like once a game, I get stuck on the platform all the time.
Yeah. much to the end of this. I've got like a couple things. So. Yeah, so I'd say the three biggest things, in my opinion at least, were I think there were a lot of times where you lasered him out the air. In those spots, I think you could have nared him afterwards, and you go for like a dash dance, wave dash, or like some other thing when you just have like a free hit you can take.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So let me look for that one first of all. So like here, for example.
Well, that was weird. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how familiar you are with this, but if you do laser into an instant nair, like you dash for a frame, you jump, and then you nair like instantly, it can true combo on laser. And the thing is, even if you're a little bit slow with that, Marth's Fair doesn't like come out until like frame 6, in terms of like a relevant hitbox that's near you.
Right.
So it's actually like a decent sized window for you to get it.
Right. What does this look like in normal motion? What did I do?
You just like got the laser and then did some weird like dash back.
I don't know. That's weird. Because I really often go for the smash like turn. Like smash turn pivot back air kind of thing.
Yeah, that can be good too. But
but I don't think that was. I don't know what I was doing there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it happens quite a lot.
Yeah, I think that is maybe just me not recognizing like that I got the hit. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not looking at Marth properly or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can't like react to the laser hitting. You have to sort of like guess that it will hit essentially. Yeah. Based on like Marth's movement. But there was another one. I think it happened like 3 or 4 times in this game. And that's honestly like one of the biggest openings you get from Marth, in my opinion, in the matchup.
Right.
Just because it's like a true combo, right? And like anytime Marth's in the air, if that happens. And you know, Marth goes in the air a lot, right?
Yeah,
so I think it's pretty important to be good at that.
Yeah, that's kind of why the matchup's like okay, is because
you actually have answers in the air.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where the next one is, but...
No, I feel like I remember a specific spot, actually.
Yeah, I remember 2 more, I feel like. Yeah, like there as well, right?
Yeah, he got a pretty good up B there, but yeah, there's...
Yeah, that one was a bit trickier because Marth was further away.
Yeah, if I just nared there though, you're right. Because I'm doing too much. I'm making it too fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had nared it, would have just hit
that one as well. Like you had time to turn around, backflip, and nearly touch the ground before he even put a hitbox out, right?
Yeah,
so you definitely have to...
that's just a bad habit of me trying to get the back air rather than the nair. Because every time I'm doing like some sort of turn, I think, that makes sense.
And it's like I wouldn't say there's really a tangible like difference between the two. Like hitting a bear and hitting a nair there,
not really,
Okay, so that was that. The second thing was I think some of the scraps were going pretty poorly. So just wait for one to come up again. But essentially, I think you were just trying to fight too much.
Yeah, actually, like that was one thing that I wanted to kind of talk about, like game plan wise, is because the worst habit I don't know, it's not even a habit. It's just like I'm not really sure what else to do, but I always like jump to top plat all the time, like when I'm playing against Marth. And I
Yeah.
don't really think that's that good because almost all the time, in order to get down to him, you have to like do something predictable, or you're just like gonna get hit by a fair and up air as you're coming down. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the grounded game is better, maybe, but I don't know. That's what I was gonna ask you about. Is kind of like how you kind of look at the neutral game for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I don't think it's as strong as those other characters, say like Peach or something.
Right.
But you have a lot of ways to come down that Marth struggles to deal with, especially if you use the platforms. Like, say you're say this is the stage, right?
Yeah.
You're up here. I think what a lot of people try to do is they try to drop through with a mix-up, right? Like laser, aerial, waveland, whatever. And let's say Marth's over here. You know, you can also do stuff like jump off here. And you can go either to here, or you could fall all the way down here. And that's really hard for Marth to deal with, because he has to start running all this way to try and intercept you. And look what he risks getting hit by, right? So, I think we talked about this a little bit with, like, shield pressure stuff, right? Where it's like we want to force them to take a risk first. Have we talked about that?
I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar. I feel like I know maybe what you're talking about, but I don't think we've talked about it.
Okay. No, we can go over it. So essentially, like, you want to pick an option as your default. You want to pick an option like this green one, right? Where it's like Marth has to take a big risk to try and hit you, and in doing that risk, he's opening up you doing more aggressive options, right? Like this drop through down air or whatever.
Right.
Whereas a lot of people sort of start with the aggressive blue option, and Marth just sort of sits here and has like no reason to get hit by it, right? But the reason you give him to get hit by it is that if he just sits here and does nothing, and you get to just follow this green path, he's never going to get any value from you being on the top platform, right?
Right.
So, you know, if it starts, say, like, you're over here, and Marth has you cornered, and you go up here, and then you know you can get to this side for free, like, you know, you always have, like, a very easy way to get out the corner, right?
Right.
So, and the way that links to shield pressure is, again, like, you want to force them to do something that, like, makes them, like, read your role, or, like, gives up a lot, right?
Right.
Whereas a lot of people, a lot of the time, they just try to fight out of situations. And that just plays into the hands of the opponent, you know?
Right.
Again, you want to give them a reason to get hit by the risks you're taking.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Cool. Let me just write down quickly. Cool. But yeah, in terms of examples of that, I'll just look for the next sort of like scrap up close.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the hits that I get versus Marth are like, you know, just a lot of cheesy stuff, kind of like spot dodge shine, or like, you know, they just end up like too close to me, or they try to grab or something, like, and it doesn't really feel like I'm getting like the cleanest openings.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to happen some percent of the time, I think.
Yeah.
So you know, if that's all of your openings, then that's probably a problem. But if it's only some percent, then that's probably fine. But yeah, so I mean, I liked how you played these ones. So like, you shield, you roll out the way, you know, you jump away, right? Maybe how you came off the platform wasn't that great because of the percents, right?
Right. Yeah, the dare doesn't really do anything there.
But this is one where I was saying, you know, you could just go this way if you wanted to, right?
Right.
And get out of the situation. But then it was when we ended up like down here. I thought this was fine. Obviously, you got power shielded. But I like with these ones how you're sort of like just trying to get away and reposition and get back to some sort of neutral, right? With like a laser or something. But then I felt like later on in the game that sort of like broke down a bit. So like a big one I'd say is like here trying to like fight out of the corner, right?
Right.
And you just get spot dodged. And it's like, yeah, you got that get-up attack that sort of reversaled him, but you didn't really have like a clear advantage, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, he was already jumping after that.
Yeah. And I feel like the third thing I was going to comment on as well was I think there was a lot of spots where you were doing aerials that if you just did an approaching laser in, it would have gone a lot better. So like this one, for example.
Right.
So I don't know how good do you feel about like different laser heights when you're doing approaching lasers?
Honestly, like I don't.
okay, well then that can be definitely something to practice then.
Yeah, I don't feel that because I just like I mean, oftentimes like when I'm playing certain stages like Fountain,
yeah,
I do like empty laser like I by accident like I'm all you hear he's got the gun out and you hear the click, you know that thing, but it doesn't actually like do anything. I get that shit all the time. Yeah. So I don't know, like I don't have like a I don't have like a strategy for like the laser height necessarily. It just kind of like if I guess the only difference is like fast or slow. Like if I want it to come out right away, or if I want it to be like delayed. That's kind of the only like difference I have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would say.
Yeah, this is another one where I felt like you were scrapping a lot, right? Like you take this snare, and then you try and bear him, and then you try and shine on this one, and it just looks very like desperate and throwing out moves, right?
Right.
Whereas I feel like, you know, maybe taking the laser and then taking the hit and then dashing, or like full hopping out there like you did in that first stock.
Right. Yeah, I had a few chances to get out there and just like you said.
Because like Marth can be bad up close, but only when you have control, I feel like, or some sort of advantage. Right. When it's just like nobody's really winning like that, I feel like Marth can outrange a lot of your fastest options.
Did I miss the L cancel on that dare too? From Plath?
I think so.
Like right here?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, it's different, right? So compared to doing it on the ground, it's a different timing.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Watch it. Yeah, like this sort of thing, I feel like goes wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah, he was like look at this, he's already ready. He was like, he knew what I was doing. Like before, he knew what I was doing before I did it.
Yeah, was it you I was talking to about how like obviously if I pause on this frame, you'd be like, of course, like Marth can get out of the way of this down air, but it's sort of like the thing that happens beforehand that makes it that makes you want to do the down air. I'm guessing it wasn't you I talked to about that with.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, yeah. So if you watch what Marth does here when you do the waveland, you see this fair, right?
Yeah.
And when you see that, you're like, oh, I can down air him because he's in lag, right?
Right.
So this is the reaction you need to fix. Is like when you see this and you see this, you need to be like, I can't get a hit here. I need to play a mix-up or I need to reposition. So like the mix-up gig could be like run off and then like shoot a laser, for example. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, just looking at it in a vacuum, it's like, oh, of course I can't down it here because Marth's gonna dash out of the way. But that's not the point where you make the decision, you know.
Yes. Yeah, it's the reaction to that aerial for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, again, just like running off to try and hit Marth. Again, I think this can work if you have like a really like concrete game plan in this position, right? Of like all the things Marth can do, all the things you can do, how you gonna pay him, you know, all those things. But if you don't have that, I'd just back up and not fuck with it, you know.
Yeah, right there, like, you know, I didn't just go for the normal aerial or whatever, which is why I didn't get hit. But yeah.
Yeah.
Can you? I guess you could just wave dash out a light shield there, maybe. Like, what do you do in this kind of spot where you air dodges usually?
Yeah, the wave dash is kind of hard because you need to hit a perfect one because you're
right at the tip.
Yeah, I would either just short hop, or I would drop shield and then down smash.
Right there, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you easily have time. 10.
Yeah.
The short hop's a bit too slow sometimes. Cool. Okay, so let's go into a game for a little bit, and we can talk about how to practice those things.
Sure.
Can you still see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
what is it? Is this different than Uncle Punch?
So this is the Patreon version.
Okay.
I would seriously recommend it. So the big thing is you have this, which lets you save recordings and then load them up. So like I have one for like slide off on Marth, for example. And I can just
what do you mean recordings? It's like it just records like
when you do a recording and then here.
Yeah.
You can export it. You see how there's an export button at the bottom?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so then it makes like I'll do it now, like right. And then I export that. Call it test. And then it saves it. And then anytime I boot up the game, I can import that. And it'll be at the bottom here. And I can load that recording I made.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's really useful for like, you know, not having to set up a recording every time you wanna practice something, right? So I personally have a load of these. Like I've got one for quite a lot of things, like just different reactions. Like these ones are ones that I have what's it called? Like this is one I used as an example for people. Did I use this with you or?
No, I don't think so. No, this is the first time I've seen this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this one is when I explain to people how to like whiff punish Sheik's moves and how you want to like what's it called? So like I've just set up a bot here to do F tilt and move backwards, and how you can do something like this where you can react to that.
Wait, so it's like Sheik does that same thing over and over again, and you're like you can do whatever you want?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
The laser up until this point is all like pre-planned out, and then I can control Falco from now, and Sheik's gonna either F tilt or wave dash back here, and you can do up to 6 things. And I've made it random here.
Okay.
So it's very useful for like practicing stuff like this, right? Like whiff punishing.
Yeah.
And then if you don't see them do it, you can do something else, right?
Huh. Okay. That's cool.
I would definitely invest in this if I mean you literally only have to pay for like 1 month of the Patreon, which is like $5, and then you get access to the to this version.
Right. Okay. That's cool.
But yeah, I think it would really help. Because you can just set up any sort of recording, like any of these situations we go over. Right. You could set up like a Marth, I don't know, jumping into a laser, right? And then you can practice naring immediately out of it.
Yes.
Like things like that.
Yeah.
But, oh, where's my CPU gone?
There you go.
Okay, so we've got 3 things. So we've got daring from different heights, full hopping out of shred instead of wave dash, and laser heights and approaching lasers.
Yeah.
So let's do the dare one first. So what I would do for this is, so it wasn't on the ground that it was an issue really. It was mainly coming from like platforms and full hop.
Yeah.
So first of all, I would do FD and just practice like coming down with a downer like this. Practice different heights, so you can see how I'm going really high, really delayed.
Right.
Hitting with different parts of the hitbox as well, right? I'm not sure if I have. Okay, you can put like the L cancel overlay on if you wanted to as well.
Right.
Yeah, so I do those ones on FD, just because there's no platforms there. And then I'd also practice the platform ones, so like, this one a lot of people mess up, I feel like.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
through side plat.
Yeah.
Top plat as well, right? Or if I wanted to do like, shield drop, like that.
Right. Okay.
So that's how I go about with that. It's also useful to do on different stages because the heights are different, right? Like the platforms.
Right. Okay.
So I just do, I don't know, like say 2 minutes of that on each stage, and that's probably enough. Do it with different aerials as well, because it's probably not only Dare that you'll miss it on.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
For the Shine Wave Dash thing, say the easiest way is, I think it's Wave Dash Info, maybe. Let me just check if these are the right displays. Yeah, so I'd just have that display on, where it shows you a wave dash frame, and try it both on like no hit and also on hit, right?
And it tells you how good your angle is too.
Yeah,
That's
so like yellow is perfect and green is good. Yeah, and then obviously on hit. Like mine are a bit better on hit, I think, than on whiff because it's more relevant on hit.
Is when it's yellow, you say it's like the best angle you can get, or
yeah,
like
yeah,
around the best angle?
Yellow is the best one, I'm pretty sure. It's really hard to get. Like I've even got notches and I still can't. There we go.
Okay. Do you have a wave dash notch?
Yeah. Alright, maybe yellow isn't.
I feel like green is the best, but I can't really tell because your green ones look really fucking
the
long.
lowest I'm getting is 18.4, I think.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what yellow is. Yeah, I don't actually know
Okay.
what yellow is.
That might just be like, I think that's in the middle. Like it's like white, yellow, and then green for the best, I think. Yeah.
It might be if you get a green. Oh, wait, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I'd practice that. Just make sure you're getting, I'd aim for frame 2 rather than frame 1. I think that's something that a lot of people mess up on. Because if you're a frame late on frame 1, you'll get this, right?
Right.
If you're a frame late on frame 2, then you get a good one, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so that's how I do that. And then for heights, so there's a couple things you can do.
Captain Falcon.
So I like to use the character models as sort of a reference.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, for high lasers, I like to try and hit Falcon's head or over him, right? You can see how I can pretty consistently like get this over him, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But that's less of a practical one than hitting his head. So I'd say you want that sort of height. You want a low height, which for this one, there's a couple options. The easy mode is just to get Marth to crouch. And then you just try and hit Marth's head or below.
Okay.
Right? And again, this is where the export would be useful, right? So you don't have to set up Marth crouching every time. Not that it takes long, but So I do that with fastfall and no fastfall as well. I think that's pretty important.
Okay.
So like that's a fast fall one, and this is a no fast fall one. Because they're two different timings, so it makes it harder for Marth. So like power shield, right?
Right.
And the good thing about this is the heights that'll hit him crouching are the heights he can't crouch power shield easily. So that's why I like practicing it first.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the super hard mode of this is hitting under Link's shield, which is very hard.
It's just like he blocks it unless it's like.
Unless it's perfect, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's some weird stuff with idle animations, but
Right.
that's
cool.
a nice test to do as well, like hitting it over or under his shield.
Right.
Huh.
Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, so
I'll
I
try
practiced that. Also, in terms of laser stuff, there's a lot of nice things you can do in terms of like the spacing on them. So one drill I like to do for this is you're on the edge of the Pokeball here, and you want to try and get to different parts of the Pokeball with your lasers. So like a full approaching one will get you to this side, right?
Right.
But then what if you want to get to the middle, right? So you'd have to do that.
Okay, so just like practicing your drift.
Yeah, or maybe you want to get to that black bit, right? Or maybe you want to move back and then you can get to this marker here. Or maybe you want to go all the way back, right? So there's a lot of like nice indications on the screen here that you can use to get to different points.
Okay.
And obviously, like once you can do all of those, that's when you can add in, I want to shoot a high one here, and then a low one here, and then a mid one here,
Right.
And you want to have, like, ideally that level of control. Like every laser you shoot is the height you want and at the spacing you want.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like that's something I don't have at all. it might be a little bit like automatic, like to some degree, but not definitely not like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
But yeah, that's a few ways to practice that. In terms of the laser nair thing, if you wanted to set it up, I would just get a Marth bot. And the good thing about this Unk Punch as well is, like, I could make a save state and then send you it, and then you could import it into your game. Which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is.
So the way I'd practice this would be I'd probably get Marth to jump. Record. And I'll just time like a laser. Like that. And then I just want to practice trying to nair after it.
Right.
So you can see this, like, the laser's done by the recording, and then I'm controlling the nair after.
Yeah, so I could just get like Marth to even like what is that called? Like shuffle fair, just over and over again, and like try to work my way in with that too. Probably.
Yeah, you can if you want. I just set this one up because it's like an easy timing, right? Like if you wanted to make this harder, I would make Marth fair after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you can go frame by frame. Okay.
Yeah. You can see if I'm fast, like, even a frame perfect one doesn't work, right?
Right. Wow, okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that's hard, but yeah, okay.
And you can see how important that is, because that's the difference between getting fair grabbed and, like, hitting him off stage, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you can see how, like, if you try forward smash, it doesn't work, or you try up tilt. Now, the thing you did can actually be good here if you want to try and whiff punish.
Right.
Like that. But, I think the nair is a lot more, like, universally good,
Yeah, and people aren't going to be reacting like frame perfect out of hits done either, so... Like,
no, I'd say, like, if I'd have set this up a frame, like, all of these were on trading, I would win if they weren't frame perfect, so...
Yeah, exactly, that's how good nair is there. Yeah.
And, you saw me that literally took, like, 2 minutes to set up.
Yeah.
And you know, I can just now go record, export, take, laser, laser, fair. And obviously, like, I'm doing this quite fast because I'm used to it. But I only learned doing this about 6 months ago, I want to say, because I used to only use 20xx, and you can't record as easily in that.
Right. Yeah.
So like I would boot up Uncle Punch, set something like this up every time, and like it did two things. So first of all, it sort of like wasted time a bit because you're spending time setting it up, right? But it was also like more of a barrier to entry because it's like, you know, when you don't have that much energy to practice, like it's a lot easier for me to just do that, you know, and just do the inputs rather than going like, oh, I gotta set this fucking save state up again.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I think that's
that's actually pretty sick. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't even hear, but I've never.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and obviously this one's locked behind a bit of a paywall, but for the exporting stuff. But I honestly think like I know Joey Donuts, the Falco, he pretty much only practices using this, like outside of tournaments. Yeah, he literally just only does thingies. Same with Flash as well. Falco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he has like a ton of save states. So there's a lot of people now that, you know, use them a lot more to practice some of these things.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, like, the only thing I could see kind of being weird about just like spamming this is like there's a huge difference between in game and like doing this over and over again. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, I get you. But I think
I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think that like I think that, you know, you got to kind of weave it in with like real games, and it should like
for sure. Yeah. But it's something like, you know, some of these examples, if you only tried to practice them in game, you'd maybe only get like one repetition every few games or something.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Whereas you can like super grind this out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, this is really cool. I mean, $5 like for a Patreon, like that's nothing.
Yeah. And like I said, you can just get it and then cancel if you want to. You know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's have like one more look over that VOD then, just see if there's anything else we can get from it.
Yeah, sure. I have another VOD if you want, or what time is it now? We've
got like a quarter of an hour. Yeah, if you want to send the other one, because I think we've sort of done that one to death.
Yeah. Let me see if I get an FOD one, because I fucking hate FOD.
Yep, sounds good.
Play the same people so much that it's just like a fucking spam of the same game, basically.
Yeah.
But okay, I got it. I'm not sure which one's good or bad, but I'll just pick this one.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, this is a different guy.
Cool.
Ready? Go!
Yeah, so for starts on FOD, if you want a laser, I think the best one to do is probably either just a short hop laser on the platform.
Okay.
Or you can jump backwards and then shoot two lasers like this. And then if you're really sick afterward, you can jump forward and shoot another two. But
right.
But even just getting these two out of the start's pretty good, and even just this one on the side plat's pretty good. So it's sort of this one covers this space, and then you just use your character to cover like the other two options, which is either Marth goes down here, or Marth goes up here, right?
Right.
So you know, if you think he'll go low, you could do something like short hop off. Yeah, I think shooting this laser and then short hop off's probably pretty good.
Okay.
To cover, but yeah, I can see how this is a bit awkward. So you can only drop through laser on this side, on the left side.
The fully high
the
one.
right
Yeah.
side. Sorry. Yeah.
Did they start like that every time?
Yeah.
So like slightly. Okay.
Yeah, that's why port 2 is a lot better on this stage for Parker. It's
Right,
really dumb.
yeah.
I think it should be
port 2
standardized,
gives you that.
personally. Yeah, port 2 spawns you on this side.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I'm a port 4 guy for sure.
But then, like, other stages, port 2 can be worse because of the respawns, and, you know, there's a whole, like, trade-off with it, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, like, this is one where I would maybe consider just, like, light shielding. So that you can get pushed off, and then you could just back at him, right?
What is the best way to light shield? Just holding Z? Is that the only, or what do you normally do?
I just use the trigger. Like,
yeah, just
light press.
Okay.
You can use Z if you want. Doesn't really like that. The Z input covers you the most because it gives you the biggest, or like one of the biggest light shields.
Yeah, but you also have to grab.
Yeah. Unless you're already in like some sort of lag, and then it'll do it instantly.
Right. Oh, that's true, actually. If I just hold Z while I'm, like, getting smoked on the platform.
Yeah, like, that's how I mean, that's at least how I set a Moth Killer, right? Like, you do a roll and then you hold Z while you're,
Yeah, same.
doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a bit better than trying to, like, brute force through here with, like, a shield drop.
Yeah, like, shield drop would have got me nothing there. It probably would have got me, like, crouch cancel grab more than anything.
I mean, you can sometimes get it, it's just there's a lot of things Moth could do, right?
Yeah.
It can make it a bit weird. Nice. Yeah, this is another one where I feel like approaching laser, right? Especially if people start light shielding. I think it's really good.
You mean I should have approaching laser here? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but you know, his shield is quite low here, right? So it's more likely that he'll throw in a light shield.
Right.
And you can see how it puts you in a really shit spot, right? If you aerial.
Yeah.
And the other part is that laser sometimes, like, because it does so little knockback, it doesn't push them anywhere.
So you're like inside of them already, basically?
Yeah, they just end up right next to you, and the laser's even more plus because you're hitting a light shield rather than a full shield. So you can do stuff like laser grab, and like unless they spot dodge, they can't actually like escape.
Okay.
And shit like that. Just because you have so much frame advantage from it.
Right.
But yeah, it was just the sort of combination of like the light shield and like he was moving away, and I just felt like approaching laser would have probably worked better.
I'm pretty sure I was just kind of fucking around here.
Yeah.
Just seeing how I could get, but yeah.
I get it. This guy's sick. Yeah, another one like I'd not be trying to shine here, right? Like, you know, Marth's just gonna outspace you, right?
Yeah. I don't know what the hell that was. Yeah, like on what planet would he fucking be like inside of my model?
Yeah. So like with this one, in terms of what we were saying about making them take a risk, right?
Yeah.
So what I would do as a default here is wave dash away or roll away.
Right.
Because what does he have to do to punish those things?
Like completely run across, like bolt across the whole stage.
Yeah, he has to do this, right?
Yeah.
So now
yeah.
when you put out the shine, where does it intersect? Right?
Right, with
Where he's
yeah.
trying to run to.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if he tries to punish this shine like by spacing like he is here, this is the sort of zone he's hitting, right?
Right.
And that's nowhere near the screen bit. So
Right.
again, you can sort of see how like doing something defensive can open up your aggressive options.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think spots like this are pretty important for the approaching laser heights stuff, right? Because you want to be shooting high here.
They were all the same.
Yeah,
All four of them that I did there. Yeah, all the same height.
And you want to shoot high to stop him coming down as easily, right? Like,
Right.
if he'd have dropped through on that one where you shot it really low, you know, he could have run off third very easily here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas if the laser's up... Oh, fuck. If the laser's up here, then that will stop him running off, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And there's a lot more applications than that, but that's just sort of like one of them. There's a random thought here. I'd probably shine turnaround, so that you're
right
facing
there.
this way,
Right.
because then you have back air, right, which sort of covers like this sort of zone.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Because Nair doesn't have as much of like a vertical hitbox, right? Like Nair
Right.
sort of hits like that.
hmm Yeah, it was like super short here too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, you mess up your one, like, you know, shocking state or whatever and you get fed, right? So it's
Right.
really important to, like, be either fully committing to it well or just backing off and not playing it, I feel like.
Okay.
But, I mean, so far both of these have gone pretty well, I'd say. Again, another one where you sort of, like, drop through and you get a bad trade, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get a shine off of it, but I think this is the sort of thing you were saying about, like, a lot of your openings coming from scraps, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think like I've never really been very bad against Marth, but I feel like I don't have like a like with Fox and stuff, like I feel like I have a decent game plan. I like know what works and what doesn't, but with Marth it just ends up being like I just kind of combo them and like, you know, a lot of shield poking and stuff because of the way that Marth works.
Yeah.
But because I feel like with Falco, like even if you're super aggressive and like not very like even if you're bad, sometimes just like Marth just fucking his shield just sucks, and sometimes you just hit him anyway. You know what I mean? Like you don't really get like the most clean hits sometimes, but it just ends up working out.
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah,
Okay, let's
Okay.
got a couple minutes. So I'll put this set of me versus Meds on. I think there should hopefully be some examples of that sort of like not playing too risky in the scraps like mentality. Hopefully. Yeah, so like this side plat. So I dropped the combo, right? I think you can still see, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I dropped the combo, and then I feel like a lot of people here would try and run off and try and
Right,
like hit
yeah,
off
I definitely would.
or jump off or something.
Yeah.
But then what I do instead is I jump through. I only land like back here, right? And then I move back and sort of like look at all this space I've created now between us.
Right.
Where like Marth can't really hit me now, and because he's jumped, that gives me a free laser. And because he's jumped, you know, that's when stuff like that laser nair can come into play, right? Or maybe, you know, something else. And then the next time when I'm up there, I can do this laser because he's more expecting me to, back myself into the corner, right? Like, he's got more reason to get hit by this, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, that laser is way safer than just, like, naring off the platform.
Yeah.
Which is probably what I would end up doing.
Yeah, the other part here is this laser was an intentional read. Like, it's sort of like that top plat situation, right? Where I was like, you need to play a mix-up and read him. Like, here I'm reading he's going to move back here. Mm-hmm. So I'm, like, hard calling that out. This isn't like a YOLO, I just want to get out of the situation, Yep, I don't run off the platform, right?
Yeah. Just kind of waiting it out. You can't really do anything in that spot anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he even tries to hit me, right? Like, he jumps all the way up there.
Yeah.
Like, if
he tries to fair you coming down, like, doing that, like, the drop through, probably.
Yeah.
For the drop through.
And you can see how, like, if I was more willing to contest this, I could just drop through bear here. That's going to cover this sort of space. And he's going to, get hit jumping into this, right? But even if I don't contest that and I go to the ground here, this is still a good spot for me, right?
Right.
I can move in and try and attack if I want to. I can move back and try and get a laser out. There's quite a few things I could do here. Yeah. And, like, I didn't get a hit originally up here, but I went from... What was the situation? I went from that weird scrap on the ground, right? Like, I just dropped a combo and a push-off. I went from this to this happening, right? Which is, like, pretty good for me. Like, obviously, they're a few seconds apart. But the whole time I was, like, resetting to try and get a good situation.
Right.
And then the good situation that finally comes my way is this, right? Which is a pretty good one, I'd say, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't really, like, you got grabbed once, but otherwise, like, he hasn't really been able to do much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, here, obviously, you, but, like, most of the time, like, that whole time, he didn't really have very many good options, I feel like.
Yeah, like, he's having to actually, like, outplay me in some of these spots to get a hit, rather than just sort of, like, throwing out moves and...
Yes,
yeah. It,
Yeah.
Yep, so what do I do here? I run up shield, I go past him. And then I move away, right?
Right.
And you can see how if I'd have tried to challenge him, I would have got up tilted there, right?
Right, by the back end of it, yeah.
No, I mean, you could play this more, again, you could go for a hard read, sort of like that laser off the platform, right? Like, I could hold shield there, wait for the up tilt, and then, like, try and punish out of shield. Or maybe, like...
But he can also grab you if you hold shield there, too. Like,
that's the risk, right? Or maybe I could have wave dashed down and then tried to, like, whiff punish the up tilt or something. But I'm just like, what, I just want to get out here. I don't want to play this. You're at 0, I'm at 57. I just want to get out. And because he tried to hit me here, I get a free laser now, right? And now we're back in neutral, and now I can play my game, right? Like, this up close scrap is one that's favorable because, I just hit a laser, right?
Yeah.
So I'm only playing those scraps when I'm sort of, like, forced to, essentially. Well,
that's, and when you're in control, too, like... Yeah.
So, like, if I'm in the corner and I've just come out of a tech chase, then, yeah, I'm probably going to have to pick some sort of, like, scrappy options sometimes. But if I have the choice, I don't really want to, right?
Right.
Like, even there, I tried to, like, back up and do these lasers instead. He wins the mix-up, but... I made him work for it, right?
Right.
It's good by him. And yeah, as soon as I overcommit, right? Like, I get hit as well. I'm not immune to it either,
Slight reach there, yeah. You're already... Yeah.
And I think, like, this is quite a while ago now, but I think that was one of the main things I was like, just don't scrap. Because it was sort of like, every time I scrapped, I was getting hit. And every time I
Right.
just backed up and played neutral, eventually I would win and get a good opening.
Yeah, and if you have like a game plan in neutral, it's like it's like way less gambly than just scrapping. Like
Oh, yeah,
scrapping can
yeah.
often just fuck you. Like especially against like Fox and stuff. Like it's literally just like frames of different shines, and that's like what depends on who's like on the ground or who's not.
Yeah, like
So
the way I see it is like I'd rather get a consistent 1 stock than like 3 stock swings, you know.
right.
Missed my waveland. That's fine. But you can see the idea there, right? Like a shield. I'm not trying to hit him out of shield. I just want to back up.
Yeah.
Super unfortunate that I lost my jump as well somehow, but yep. And
Yeah,
this
and
is
that no,
another one.
no commitment there either. Just like
Yeah.
just taking the laser and chilling. Yeah.
So like if this was a better hit, like I saw EDI'd in or something, I might have done something different. But I was like, he's got hit by the laser at a really awkward height. Like I can't get up there that easily. I'm quite far
there's
away.
nothing you can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm just like, I just don't want to play this. Just play next, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, like there, for example, that's just me playing this situation bad, rather than like, you know, not taking enough of a risk, in my opinion. You know, mess up combo.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these losses, in terms of like getting hit, have been within my control. I feel
that's
like,
good.
you know.
Yeah. When you if you're like in a situation where you're like, I'm definitely gonna get Marth nared or fared here, like you just like fucked up or like something.
Mhm.
What do you hold? Do you hold like pure out, or like if you're at low percent, I should say. Like
Yeah, I mean, if you can, I'd hold out. Maybe down and away, actually, because you want to get to the ground as quick as possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
So like if the fair send's like this, then down and away is going to make you go like this, right?
Yeah, because I think you get hit right here maybe, and you don't even get grabbed. But maybe he missed something.
Yeah, I mean, this one, it was hard to DI because I thought the shine would hit, so I'm going to be holding a different direction, right?
Right.
And he... So the reason he does the nair because he thinks I'll spot dodge.
Oh, okay.
But then I instant double jump and, you know, get to land on top of him, right?
Right.
So yeah, just some, like, try to get to the ground as quick as possible and then do some sort of, like, spot dodge or jump or shine.
Okay.
Dash, even.
That's good. Yeah.
Weapons here, nice. Yep, back up. Again, this is one where I think a lot of people would have tried to, like, jump off the platform and attack, right?
And get fared, yeah.
And either get fed or, like, Marth goes down here and then up airs, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%.
I just back up and laser. Yep, want to mix up our shield, that's fine. There's the laser now.
Oh, that was really clean, actually. The nair into, like, just the slight walk shine.
Let me see how fast this now was. So I dashed for a frame extra. And then I actually nared frame 4, so I was a little bit late on this. But you can see how, like, even though I was late, Marth had 1 frame to, like, do anything in, right? Like, so even though I was late, it doesn't matter, like, as long as you're pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to do with, like, how the laser hits and how far away you are and a load of weird stuff. But you can see how, like, that gave me an amazing opening, right?
Yeah. Also, that shine was really sick off of the...
Yeah.
Off of the nair. That was, like, way better than... I don't even know what else. Like, you couldn't really get much else. Maybe, like, an F tilt or something.
Yeah, turnaround up tilt would be the other one.
Yes,
there.
True. Yeah.
But, you know, I just got, like, 50 damage off of just, like, an approaching laser in neutral in a spot where, like, there wasn't much risk to it, I feel like.
Right.
You know?
Also, the shine, like what you do right here.
That one?
That's actually pretty sick. I saw you do that. I forget who you played. Maybe, like, not Magi, but someone else at the main stage. I feel like their name is also Magi or something, but it's not.
Logos?
I don't know. It was a fox, but
Maxi. I think they were.
Yeah, Maxi.
Yeah.
That was one of the only set I caught of yours. But,
Yeah. I mean, that one there, to be honest, wasn't actually that good because I couldn't really convert. But
No, but it looks fucking sick though. So
it looks sick. Yeah. And if it was like
it's
10% lower, I can probably get something.
Yeah, it's really good when you're like comboing a fox and like you have to get back to the platform if they DI left
Oh, yeah.
or right or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's sick.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So I think
Cool.
there's probably a few examples in this set. I also have a set with Coderin, from Summit, so you could watch that
okay.
as well. But
Right.
I mean, I'd say I'm probably one of the people that sticks to this the most. You know, if you watch like Ginger or Fictional Magi, I think they take a few more risks than me, but you can still see the sort of like the mentality, right? Like the game plan,
Right.
of how you want to approach
Yeah.
it. But,
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch a few sets to see because I haven't really been watching like too much outside of like top eights lately. So maybe I'll kind of dig a little deeper.
Oh yeah, definitely watch. I honestly think like top 64s are like the best part, to be honest.
Yeah,
in my
sure.
opinion,
Yeah,
at
it's
least.
usually when like some of the like best like sets that I like a lot of top eights just like the exact shit, same shit over and over again a lot of times.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, okay,
All right,
cool, man. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll probably schedule one. I have like a full week off right now, so I'm just kind of chilling. So I might even schedule another one later on this week if you're.
Yeah, that's fine.
If there's
So
time.
my next event is Genesis. So other than that week, I should be free. Whenever.
Okay. When is Genesis? The end of January?
January 20th.
Okay, so right in the middle. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Are you in England now?
Yeah, I'm in the UK at the moment.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.